This is a Film Stories original podcast.
We made this.
Welcome to minute 68 of the X-Files Fight the Future Minute. I'm Sarah Blair, and for this episode, I'm joined by Cortlan Waters Bartley. Hi, Cortlan.
Hi, Sarah.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm awake. I have coffee. It's early in the morning.
Excellent. All right, this minute begins at 1 hour and 7-ish. Because I say ish, because we've had a little bit of a discrepancy on the exact amount of seconds. We are currently, at the time of this recording, using the Amazon version of Fight the Future. This minute begins when Scully runs out of the cornfield and walks into the meeting with OPR. And then it ends at 1:07:59-ish with Blythe Danner. And it's a little bit of a cliffhanger, Cortlan, right?
It is. A kind of a cliffhanger as far as any 60-second segment goes.
So, okay, let me just explain really quickly why I say there's a tiny bit of a discrepancy. So there's 16 seconds that are missing, Cortlan. 16 seconds that's a little bit off, and we have yet to figure out exactly why.
To be honest, I think this is poor planning on the Fight the Future people's part. It should be 9 seconds or nothing.
We need to put a big X on the road of this film and figure out where these missing seconds are going. If maybe, since I was watching the Stars version, if there's like that little promo thing at the beginning.
Maybe.
I wonder if they were counting that in the full runtime.
It could be.
Because I don't know where else you get 16 seconds from, unless it's frame rate, maybe? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. That sounds like something I'm not familiar with. I don't know anything about that.
There was some confusion when I did my minutes with Cathy Glinski. And she was like, well, I thought it went to this point. And I was like, no, it doesn't. And it didn't even occur to me that we were watching two different versions. Because I thought, well, if it's 122 minutes, then we're both watching the correct version. But hers was 122 minutes and 37 seconds. And mine was 122 minutes and 53 seconds. But that makes a big difference when you're talking about 1 minute. So seconds matter.
Sounds like nothing, turns out.
Yeah. So let's talk about, let's see. All right, let's talk about the actual movie now.
Can I just tell you, this moment where Scully bursts out of the cornfield, it's kind of one of my favorite odd little moments.
I love it when she comes out and then she looks and she's like, Mulder.
Yeah, and the look on his face, it is the most blatantly joyous look that Mulder ever gets to have. He's so happy because she has come out of this cornfield and has not been taken by a helicopter.
They're so happy to see each other. I was hoping that they would kiss, but
it does sort of, if this was a different kind of movie, there would be kissing.
They would have just fallen on top of each other in the cornfield. That would have been like in Hollywood AD, where they tumble into the coffin together.
Yes.
And
exactly.
It would have been that, but it would have been in the cornfield. And they would accidentally, oh no, we tripped and I fell on you. Sorry, Scully. Are you okay?
I'm just so glad you made it out of the cornfield.
We should stay on the ground so they can't see us. I'll cover you with my body.
Right. It's camouflage.
Just me, the 12-year-old in me, just that one last final shot of the two, the two B hive things in the night. It just looks like a giant, like, bra or boobs or something coming out of the cornfield. I don't know.
They are weird. To me, they look like, you know, maybe you didn't have this in like elementary school where you would do the like Astrodome, the like big inflatable thing that you go inside and like sit in.
Like the inflatable planetarium?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's kind of what
we'll
they
go with
look
that
like to
because
me.
it's a lot less crass than my version.
And it's just, I don't know why you would need them in the middle of the cornfield where they're real stars, but.
Okay, but tell me this. And I've learned not to question the X-Files too much. Let's be real about that. If you were trying to be in a secret government conspiracy, why would you have them lit up like a beacon in the night? I don't know, maybe turn the lights off. Nobody's in there. They don't need the lights, right?
I mean, also for people bent on preserving humanity, leaving the lights on all night long is a bad idea. Just wait, what a waste of electricity. Come on.
That's a lot of wattage.
Consortium.
Is that how you say the word?
I have no idea.
Consortium? Because that struck me this morning that I have never actually heard it out loud. I don't think.
I think that's how I would say it.
I thought it was consortium.
It could also be consortium.
I don't know. I like consortium better.
I feel like someone's going to tell us now.
Yeah. We'll have to check with the group. I was going to ask that question when I heard Marlene say it. Hi, Marlene.
Syndicate. We can just call them a syndicate.
Yeah.
Either way, it's a bad idea to leave the lights on all night long.
Exactly.
You're wasting a lot of electricity.
It's terrible.
For no apparent reason.
Yeah.
I mean, to your point, though, I sometimes feel like when I'm watching the X-Files, sometimes I just don't think that they are being very careful or that they've really thought their plans through very far. So sometimes they feel a little bit bumbling.
So after they leave the Texas desert, they're back.
Ooh, see, this is an area. Hang on. Nope. See, this is an area where I'm confused by the syndicate's behavior because those helicopters give up really easily. Like, it was really important to them to chase Mulder and Scully away from the Jiffy Pop things, but they didn't care about catching them, I guess.
Yeah, this was not the same as Deep Throat episode, which we may or may not have just watched recently. They were very intent on catching Mulder then. What happened? They just wanted to chase him away, like, get away.
Even Scully is like, where'd they go? Because they just give up. They just disappear back into wherever they came from, which is also not explained. So, I don't know, to me.
It's not for us, the fans, to question these things, Cortlan. We just have to trust. We just have to trust no one. That's all.
I did in the commentary, they talked a little bit about it, how it's meant to feel unfinished. It's meant to feel like the helicopters gave up too easily, I guess, or that there must be some other shoe about to drop. They still gave up awfully quickly. Like, it would have been super easy to catch them when they were running up that hillside with nothing to hide in.
You would think. So Scully comes in and fixes her beautiful, gorgeous hair. Who's waiting for her, Cortlan? Who's my favorite?
It's assistant director Walter Skinner. Who else could it possibly be?
You just say the name and it makes me giggle.
This is such a great little moment, though, where she's like walking and like kind of catches like a glimpse of herself and is like, let me fix my hair real quick.
Yes, and that look that she gives him, like, please don't ask me right now. Like, I just can't even. It's too much. I have been through something.
It's so perfect. And sometimes, I try to be just watching the show when I'm watching the show, but I think that this, like, disheveled Scully is one of those moments where Gillian Anderson looks like Scully and not at all like Gillian Anderson. You know what I mean? Like, it's all Scully. I don't know why in that particular moment, but, like, that little look, it's just Scully.
And then Skinner, like, I feel very strongly that I need to write the fanfic of what goes on in their heads and how they communicate without words in this split second. Because I think that's something. It's a lot. The two amazing I mean, can you, like, that's the testament to their acting abilities, that they can communicate so much with just their eyeballs.
I think they're both thinking some version of, damn it, Mulder.
Yes, exactly. So, yeah, and then Skinner holds the door for her because he's a gentleman.
He is a gentleman.
And then Scully comes in and she says, I have new evidence. And Blackstanner says, evidence of what? And that is where I'm going to end. Dun, dun, dun.
At first, I'm always a little bit confused about what Skinner is even doing there. Like, is he still in charge of them? Or is it just because he's an assistant director?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we're going with.
Okay.
But my Skinner theory is Skinner knows where he needs to be and when he needs to be there. And I have a feeling that he finagled his way onto that panel so that he can know what's up with Mulder and Scully, because he is protecting them. They just never admit it, like, ever, until the end of time.
Until the end of Kitten.
I mean...
Sort of.
Well, I mean, considering how they just basically forget about him in the last episode, whatever. Where's Skinner? I don't know. Who cares? Like, please, people, don't get me started on that. It's fine.
He's the big boy.
But I think we've reached the end of this episode already. Time flies when you're having fun, right, Cortlan?
It really does. Like helicopters into the night.
That's episode 68 already. That flew by. Thanks for listening. I'll be back with Cortlan next time when we discuss minute 69. But until then, remember, trust no one.
Elsewhere on We Made This. The Sanctuary, a Star Trek politics and economics podcast.
Sci-fi needs more strong women, and they had her say that, and for that split second she was on camera, she was in uniform as Kira Nerys. And I think that was a really well done piece of framing, a good piece of television, a good piece of framing that was really well done. The whole thing was really, really well done. And I think they got it pretty much right on the mark.
Shipwrecked and Comatose, a Red Dwarf podcast.
I hadn't thought about it any more than Rimmer can see himself, that's unusual. And I'm just wondering, I'm thinking out loud now, is there a reason for that? Or is it just for that one gag?
It's possibly for that one. Well, no, because there's other ones, like where he gets haircuts later in the series, where it's important for him to see himself. And then the build-up is that he hasn't noticed yet.
That was last episode.
It was future. Yes, it was.
Don't worry. I think we're doing this a lot. It'll be people saying, I don't know if you watch Alan Partridge, when he says, "Stop getting Bond wrong." So I think there'll be plenty of people telling us that we're getting everything wrong, which is great. I love it.
Between the Notes.
Well, I kicked myself because I totally didn't make the connection that Bill Lee would have been related to Spike Lee until I actually looked it up as part of the preparation for this podcast. I was like, oh, he's Spike Lee's dad. I never made that connection.
And he's still going. He's early 90s. He's still with us, which is great.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I was looking up. Apparently, they haven't collaborated since the early 1990s because they've had a bit of a falling out, which is a shame because I think that I thought the Do the Right Thing score was brilliant.
Check out all of these shows and more on the We Made This podcast network.